Here's a quick recap of the cutting trolley. I know it's probably been 2 years since this thing has seen light, or pretty damn close to 2 years. But here's what it looks like. There's a couple things I did which I'm happy about. There's a couple things I did which I kind of wish I maybe hadn't done, or things were going to change. Initially, when this was designed, it was designed to be used with a snowmobile, that 440cc Kawasaki Arctic Cat snowmobile engine. Two-stroke, twin-cylinder, 45 horse, Screaming Eagle with a CVT. What were we running through? A CVT run through a differential gearbox. And that just got way too complicated and just didn't make sense that I wanted a two-stroke engine screaming in the side of my head for hours on end while we're milling logs. So the designs kind of changed a little bit. One of the two things that I'm happy about, first of all, I'm happy I didn't weld. These are the bars that are going to ride along the angle iron on that log bed. And I didn't weld these onto the feet because I wanted to see where the center of gravity was once that snowmobile engine was mounted. So dependent on where I run that forward and back was going to be after that engine got mounted. And I'm glad I never made that determination and welded that in place, because now we have a completely different thought in mind. I'm happy that I was able to come across, I have a friend that works for a garage door opener company, and he gave me this 60-inch spring. And I've seen several different ways on how these homemade Bandmills are put together. And I thought I would try it this way. I don't know that I've seen it this way with an overhead garage door spring. And basically what we're going to do is come in, and this was just temporarily, I tacked some 3/4 inch bolts in here into the inside of the pipe, and then you can put a breaker bar on there, raise and lower it. Once the weight gets determined with the engines here, and powertrain and wheels and whatever we decide to do, this spring can be adjusted to where it's essentially a neutral weight. So getting it up and down should be pretty easy. You can see I've made a few errors, which I'm going to correct. This cable comes in at an angle. So I'm going to take this whole assembly, spring assembly, and slide it back probably 3.5 inches that way. And that's going to allow us to fit the motorcycle engine and chassis and everything in here. I had done these T-handles. Let me make sure you can see that, because I can't see anything in the camera. When you get it to the height you want, and we'll delineate, once it's all said and done, we're gonna put some sort of demarcation device here for inches, and then you tighten your little thumb screws, and that'll lock it in place while you make your cut. And I've got one on each side, and they work pretty well still. This thing's been sitting on the cover for so long I had to wipe everything down. I have to re-oil it. One of the things I wish I had done differently too is I wish I had allowed for more clearance on this part of the trolley, because it's tight, and I'm just too anal about measurements and clearances and stuff, and I should have made it a little bit looser. Maybe it would have gone up and down a little easier, maybe not, I don't know. It's too late now, it's already built. So yeah, so let's mess with this a little bit and see where we go. So we have every intention to continue to use the engine in the frame, because the air horn blows, the airbox and everything are kind of incorporated into the backbone of the frame, first of all. Secondly, the mounting for how we want the engine mounts and how we're going to have to flip this rear end. And I don't know all the details yet, so don't ask the details, because I'm still kind of chewing them. We're both still kind of chewing it in our heads how we want this done. And primarily the reason why I'm keeping this frame intact is because the numbers are still visible. Now you remember, I'm taking this thing out of state. I'm taking it across state lines, and I don't want there to be any question about the authenticity or origin of any of the parts on this motorcycle. I do have the title which matches the frame and the engine numbers. You know, this thing's going to be used in the woods on private property. Am I being overcautious? Possibly, but I don't want any hassles. So we don't really gain much. Anyway, it's going to work, and I'll show you how it's going to work. I think we have the details sorted out. I think it's going to work. You guys recognize the cherry picker? That's right. It's a universal joint. We weren't sure if it was a universal or a constant velocity joint, so it is a universal that runs this drive shaft. So I think that's going to make our fabrication easier on how we have to flip this swing arm. And again, I'm not quite sure how we're going to do that, but we'll see. This will all fit in there. It's all going to be centered. It's all going to be nice. So yeah, progress is good. This is the kind of stuff that's beneficial to my mental health, to get these albatross projects off my frickin' shoulder and either working or sent to the scrapyard. In this case, this one's going to work. I firmly believe this one will work. Or if not, it'll go to the scrapyard. Anywho, gotta run. Dog barks. And I gotta run. Gotta go. See ya.